you look at the picture in a certain angle, that it looks like I have like a bulge in my
underwear
pussy area. Worse than a camel toe.
Welcome to Sex Talk with My Mom. I'm Cam Potter.
And I'm Karen Lee Potter.
That's my mother.
And that's my son.
We chat about sex on a weekly basis and all the things you typically don't talk about with a parent.
We like to make the most uncomfortable conversations comfortable.
So strap in,
strap on,
and enjoy the ride. Welcome to Sex Talk with My Mom. I'm Cam Potter.
And I'm his mother, Karen Lee Potter.
We're going to have a rollicking time today.
Get ready to rock and roll, you little sneaky freaks out there. Sneaky freaks is what we call you listeners.
And how do we start the show usually, Mother?
We start the show with Lube It Up.
Lube It Up. Presented by
our favorite
UberLube to save the day.
Look how in sync we are. It's amazing.
UberLube is an unbelievable high-grade silicone lubricant.
Everybody knows that wetter is better, and that's why we recommend you try UberLube.
UberLube lubricates our cocks, our vulvas, our conversation.
I was going to say our minds.
Our minds. And this week, we got a question that you came up with.
Yes, I did. I love when you call me up and say, you got a question of the week, and I tell you, and then you're just like, no, we're not going to do that.
I came up with a version of it and then you tweaked it.
Yeah, that's
true. I
true.
wanted to ask, do you fantasize during sex? And then you were like, no. They do fantasize. You just say, who do you fantasize about when having sex?
Right. Because a yes or no answer is not exactly a good conversation topic.
And then you said, and why?
And why? I want to know why.
Okay, so this is the question. Who do you fantasize about when making whoopee and why? Okay, Mother, you want to begin?
I'm actually going to tell you something funny.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I asked my boyfriend who he fantasizes about, which I knew already. And you would probably know.
Nina Hartley.
That's for one.
Who?
Nina Hartley, obviously, because Nina was the one who, he used to watch her on porn all the time. But no.
What?
Our old therapist. Can you imagine?
I actually did know this. He talks about her all the time.
Yeah.
Do you remember her to be such a good-looking...
No.
That is
he
hilarious.
Just liked the fact that she said, shut up to me.
Absolutely hilarious. And says something about your relationship.
Thank you. So, wise, sage therapist.
How about you? Who do you fantasize about when making whoopee, since you're the queen of fantasy over here?
I am. And that's why I think if I tell you my fantasy, then it's not going to be a fantasy anymore. And then I forget about it.
You're going to keep it to yourself.
Well, it changes.
Don't feel pressured.
I
don't want to ruin any fantasy.
I'm just saying that at one point it was Bill Clinton.
I knew it was Bill Clinton,
okay,
unfortunately.
So,
I'm thinking of the first episode you talk about how you're fantasizing about Bill Clinton.
I mean, it's just, I think there's something to be said by the power he had as the president.
You like that power, power dynamic.
I've seen him speak in public, and he's just a brilliant orator.
Brilliant.
He's just brilliant. Why are you making fun of the way I say brilliant?
Yeah, it was funny.
So Bill Clinton it is. What about you, son?
You know, this has been an ongoing debate we've had on the show where you say you fucking are fantasizing all the time during sex, and I'm the one that doesn't fantasize during sex because it's such a novel experience. I'm creating the fantasy. This is what I'm going to be taking for years later.
That fantasy.
The one sexual encounter, that will create a fantasy that I end up carrying in my spank bank for about a year.
A spank bank.
I need to be focused.
I understand that.
Hypervigilant.
You can use different fantasies, though.
You think I'm going to be placing a fantasy on this in a momentous occasion?
Okay.
No chance.
All right. So
it's
basically,
like
you've
you're
never fantasized about any celebrity or anything.
Imagine you go through all of your college years, you come to graduation, and instead of being present for graduation, you're thinking about a time that you went to Wisconsin Dells and you were going down a fucking water slide.
Why don't you compound it? Like, how many times can you use the same fantasy?
What?
Add onto it. Build onto the fantasy.
While I'm with someone, you're not listening. When I'm with someone, I'm fucking zoomed in. It's like a microscopic vision. I'm trying to inhale every single sensation that's occurring in my eyes, my ears. I start tasting things, sniffing.
I know, you're hypervigilant on sniffing.
I'm trying to feel every part of interoception of my body. It's like trying to create a screenshot of this thing.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, there's no fantasy going on.
All right.
When I'm by myself?
Yeah, that's what I was
different story.
That's what I'm referring to.
When I'm with myself,
you go back to those fantasies again. I'm sure.
You could probably go back to those. Usually, it's the moments when I was able to witness mutual turning on.
Okay.
So someone is turned on by me. I'm turned on by them.
Yeah,
It's a mutual
we've definitely discussed
enjoyment.
this in prior episodes.
So then why,
Well,
are you
I'm
bored
just
by
digging.
what I'm talking about
No,
now?
I'm digging.
You're digging what?
I'm digging.
You're digging what?
I want to know if there's a celebrity out there that, because at one
There's
point,
no celebrities.
remember Hillary Duff? All you did was talk about her at one point. Do you remember this?
Yes.
You were like 11?
Yes.
Okay. So is Hillary Duff still taking
Hillary Duff has never entered my fantasies whatsoever.
even when you were like a teenager?
I mean, maybe when I'm a teenager. Who knows what I was masturbating to when I was a teenager.
Okay, well, then go on. I do remember something that you told me.
What?
You were looking up at, you were like 6 years old, and we were watching a soap opera.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
And you turned to me and you said, your penis hurts. It
Yeah,
hurts.
it still hurts. It hurts all the time.
It hurts. You saw some sort of like making out, the couple was making out. And
Yeah.
Your penis started hurting.
Yeah.
So
It's a painful experience.
do you have any celebrity living or dead?
I think I'm very attracted to Scarlett Johansson.
I've heard that before too, actually.
From me?
Yes.
Are you bored by this conversation?
No, what makes her...
Why are you constantly telling me, oh, I've heard this, I've heard that, I've heard
You
this?
just said the same
know
thing to me.
everything
I
then-
know everything about you. You know everything about me.
So then why do we bother with this?
I don't know. Let's hang it up. Wait.
Let's hang it up.
Let's go back to this for a
What?
second. Why Scarlett Johansson?
I don't know, Mom.
What parts of her are attractive to you?
I think she's a beautiful person.
What you? Oh, it's her
It's an
personality.
inside-outside situation.
Oh, and what makes you? What are you studying her?
I've gotten to know her through some interviews. I saw some
Bullshit.
advertisements in the New York Times with her advertising some David Yurman jewelry.
Oh, okay. So this is not just a bullshit thing. You really have done some research on Scarlett.
Scarlett,
Scarlett, if you're out there, you have a fan.
you know, she's dating this guy, this fucking head writer of SNL.
Oh,
He
just
seems
this
like-
head right.
He seems like a fucking stunk.
You don't. He seems like a stunk because you don't want this to work out because you want
I'm
her
just
to
saying
be.
she chose poorly, and then I started
What-
thinking
wait,
maybe
why?
she's a piece of, who's gonna. Anyway, who cares?
All
Who
right.
cares?
I care. I'm just wondering, like, why you chose her, and then now you've been. I didn't realize the research that's been going on.
She's inside and outside a beautiful person.
Oh, And you
Still
feel-
not fantasizing about her during sex.
okay.
Yeah.
But masturbation?
No.
No.
It doesn't. I don't feel. It's not a sexual thing between
Is it more
Scarlett and I.
Like Glory Hole Confessions?
I have never masturbated thinking about a glory hole.
Gangbang?
No. Nuru massage, maybe.
New what?
Nuru.
What's that? Is that like
It's
that?
I think it's a
when they whisper?
Japanese thing where they got a bunch of. It's like a lot of goopy oil.
Oh,
and then
you like?
fucking pour all that shit on, and slick all over the place. And
Oh, someone's been researching.
this
on-
is why I like
Pornhub
UberLube. UberLube can offer some similar feelings.
Are we back to UberLube?
Well, I'm just saying. All right, so
Wait, I want to get back to it. So what was that? So
a
you've been-
Nuru massage.
How did you find this?
Yeah, you can find Nuru wherever you go.
No, I don't.
I've never gotten a Nuru
I thought you were
massage.
talking about that whispering ASMR or whatever.
I've passed that.
You were into that too.
At one point, I went through a phase of a couple of weeks.
What about gangbanging?
No,
What about bukkake?
no.
What about
Where's
what
this
about,
Rolodex
what about
coming
the
from?
stepmother, stepson?
No, but I have a question about that.
What?
Okay, why do you think that has become such a popular genre?
I literally have no clue.
I was debating about this last night with my friend.
And what'd they say?
He was like, "You think there's something inherent to us that we want to
Like an edible complex or
fuck,
something?
yeah, to fuck." And I was like, no, I think it's the taboo. Like it's so
Yeah.
you're not supposed to do it. The people there's an arousal from the taboo itself.
Well, that's how anal sex used to be.
Anal sex.
Anal sex used to be very taboo. Now it's like if they don't have anal, you're like, what's wrong with the video?
That's yeah.
It's boring now.
I'm so bored by porn, to be quite honest, because you don't see the mutual desire for one another. It's all fake and phony.
No, you have to go to the casting couch.
Also, I don't feel the mutual desire, like me inherently,
Except for the what's that called again? The Japanese
Nuru massage.
Nuru massage.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's Japanese.
I've seen it, but when they pour oil all over the person.
Yeah, and then they're sliding all up and down. Oh, it's Japanese.
Well, you like that.
It's a Japanese erotic massage. Maybe I go to Japan and see if I can get a real Nuru massage.
Didn't we interview people that said they went to Japan and then they got little Japanese men to go down on them?
the private parts unknown girls.
Yeah.
Was it in Japan? Maybe.
Some Asian country, I know that.
Yeah. All right. Let's turn to the sneaky freaks. Well, can we?
Yes, I'd like to hear what they had to say.
By the way, I recognize that you just fucking put me in the hot seat and drilled me with questions.
I'm
for
so
the
sorry.
Last fucking 10 minutes.
So sorry.
All right. Justin says, when I'm having partnered sex, I tend to spin up visual scenes that include them, which only seems polite as they are gracious enough to join me in sexual activity.
He sounds like you. That's boring, Justin.
So it might be just visualizing us doing exactly what we're already doing, only in space or on top of Vladimir Putin's desk or what have you.
Vladimir Putin's death fantasy.
Wherever my mind chooses to
Oh
take
my
me so that I
God.
remain in the moment, but at the same time not so in the moment that I climax too soon. Interesting.
Justin, sounds very much like Cam, except that have you ever fantasized about having sex on Putin's desk?
Never. Have you?
I have never had anything to... there was no fantasy with me and Putin.
No. Putin doesn't enter my fantasies at all.
He is one of the least attractive men I think I've ever seen.
Inside and out.
Well, just the opposite of Scarlett.
Just the opposite, Scarlett.
The complete
Yeah,
opposite.
Putin is the opposite of Scarlett. All right. He goes on to say, when I'm having solo sex, oh boy, anything goes. Although I can say definitively that unless something specific is on my mind, I tend to cast back and relive my most powerful early partnered sexual experiences. Now that's interesting.
And that's the reason for cougars.
He goes to the archives. What? What are cougars?
The whole concept of cougars, if you start out with an older woman teaching you shit, you want older women for the rest of your life.
He's saying it doesn't matter the fucking age of the... He doesn't,
No,
he
that's
doesn't
not.
mention...
Read the ending, what he just
He
said.
says it, or he's thinking about early partnered sexual experiences.
Yes.
So he doesn't talk about the age of the partner.
I know, but I'm saying that is one of the reasons people tend to prefer cougars that have had early partner with a cougar experiences.
Okay. I think this is a projection. That's what that is.
No, I always get people writing in
Yeah.
about cougars. We'll get to that later.
Right. They had an early encounter with a cougar, and now they want cougars. And he's saying basically he's just reliving all of his, because you create those neural pathways,
Oh,
Do
no.
you do that? So this is interesting.
What?
I tend to go just to the most recent sexual encounter. I don't go back.
I go way back. I
I can't remember shit in the back.
Oh, you remember those experiences.
That back catalog I got, it's so distant I can barely understand it.
What?
There was a hazy memory. I can't remember shit.
Hazy memory. There's only been a few. How hazy can they be?
What do you mean, only a few?
You told me.
Spitting everywhere, snotting.
You told me that there's so few that,
What?
that's why you say
There's so few.
there's so few that's why you say that you don't even use them in your fantasies.
Are you making some shit up?
No, I'm not making any shit up. What are you talking about?
I've never said that in my life.
You just said it a few. I'm paraphrasing what you
I've
just
had
said
a
earlier.
whole life of sexual encounters.
You just said before it happens so infrequently that I just
It happens
focus
infrequently.
Zero.
But I've lived several years.
Okay.
I've lived a long time.
I still
I've
go
had-
back to my college years when I'm fantasizing sometimes.
And I, no clue what happened at that point.
You have to go back to the really good experiences.
Tom goes on to say, he
Tom
usually
is who?
the elder statesman. He
70-year-old Tom, almost 71.
he goes on to say, usually former lovers who were great lays.
See,
There-
I agree with Tom again.
There are several who make frequent appearances in Fantasyland.
That's what I'm talking about.
Tom's Fantasyland probably involves a lot of nature, a lot
Oh,
of the
he's
natural
swinging
surroundings.
like Tarzan Tom.
Tarzan Tom,
I
he's
think
he's covering himself in leaves. He's probably fucking digging holes and fucking women in the ground.
in the ground.
All right. Ash says, I fantasize about everyone watching me. I'm a bartender, and the thought of being fucked in front of a crowd like that is a huge turn on. You like that idea?
Yes. I was, when I asked this question, I wanted to get people celebrities. I did not necessarily want to be open to all different fantasies, but it's okay.
Well,
I want to get more specific here.
This person's fantasizing about many people. Dane says, my wife. Even after 12 years, on the rare occasion when we actually get to have sex, all I want is to be in the moment with her.
He sounds like you.
That's a beautiful thing.
They're all sounding like you. Can we get someone who's kinky like me?
All right, here goes Liz. This might be more like me. I like to be present with my partner.
Oh.
I fantasize some about...
Our sneaky freaks are definitely vanilla right now.
Listen to this. I fantasize some about what I want to do next or to focus into a body part where I am experiencing pleasure. I like making fantasy into reality as much as possible in the moment. This is what I'm talking about.
I know.
You focus the attention.
Who is that?
Liz.
You need a Liz.
You focus the attention into whatever the body part that's experiencing pleasure. I
So
love
like if
that
your
shit.
elbow is experiencing pleasure, you focus on that elbow?
all of your breath and energy into that elbow.
I'm still back to Bill Clinton for crying out loud.
Jesus. How about Amanda? A little like you. Yeah, sometimes about random coworkers. Sometimes about my partner's brother and dad joining in.
Now
Amanda, we're going somewhere.
We're getting somewhere. Now, I want to know if Amanda would tell her partner about these people. You know, I mean, I could tell my partner about everything, but if I told my partner that I'm fantasizing about his brothers, I don't think he'd go for that.
Amanda, let us know. You tell your partner about this? And how does the partner respond? Maybe the partner's turned on by that.
That's the thing.
Could be some mutual shit right there.
Or not even turned on. It's just like it brings you closer to know what your partner's fantasies are.
Listen to this one from Aaron. I love role-playing with my wife that she is my mom and sister. Especially when I'm getting a BJ. My real sister did give me a blowjob when I was in my 20s, and she was a crackhead.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I did not expect that at all. That's a wild.
That's a sneaky freak right there.
That's a huge sneaky freak. Okay, that is for today's responses so far. He's at the lead.
He's the sneakiest.
He's the sneakiest.
Brianna says Nina Hartley.
There you go, Brianna. You and my boyfriend.
I fantasize about her because I would love to meet her someday, and I use her techniques to help myself out.
She has some techniques in her book called Nina's.
She goes on to say,
Nina's Hartley Guide to Total Sex.
Through her teaching, I have decided to go into sex education. Also, she's just very hot and inspiring. Very sweet.
I'll tell her you said that.
Erica says, to be honest, I do not fantasize about anyone. I immerse myself in the situation, and my mind doesn't wander.
Another one like you.
Yes.
We should have done ding for Cam, ding for Karen Lee. 100%, I think 90% are for Cam right now.
What we need is to drill down with these people and say, how long have you been with this partner? Or are you solo? Because for me, I know a lot has to do with the fact that I don't have one consistent partner. And so I'm not fucking, it's a novel thing. I'm sure when I'm 10 years into a marriage.
You're going to start thinking about
I don't know. Dane says
Scarlett
he's been with
Johansson.
12 years, so I don't know. Maybe not.
There is no number per se. Well, what
I
if you're
don't
having
know. We're gonna
sex
have to check
every
in
single day? Then it could be boring after a year.
In the year 2050, we'll have to check in and see if
when Ian Kerner talked about his sex script and all that,
yeah,
he brought in this role playing and fantasies and things like that.
Oh, yeah, you were corroborated. Lisa says, I really don't fantasize about anyone else. I'm trying to stay present, feel, and be in the moment.
Our sneaky freaks are either representative of the world or we just have a certain very Reiki focus.
Reiki focus?
I don't know. Very, what's it called? Tantra.
Sensual.
Tantra.
Tantric.
Buddhist. Type of sneaky freak.
I don't think, I mean, it sounds like you just have people that like to be present.
Maybe next time you will listen to me and I said, name a celebrity that you fantasize about.
We have what?
That's what I was looking for. I wanted to get celebrities besides
We have a
Scarlett.
very mindful audience. Don't blame me for this.
They're totally mindful.
We have the final one from TJ. Can a son and mom have incest sex?
No. I mean, I can't tell you what to fantasize about as long as you don't do it in real life, but I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh, we actually have a fuckload of other responses here. Hold on. How about this one? Loretta says, I don't fantasize about other people while I'm with my significant other, but I do fantasize I'm someone else.
There you go.
I imagine I'm a hot, sexy woman and not the middle-aged woman I am.
Oh.
I'm still me in my imagination, but much prettier and younger and tan and perky. Maybe I've seen too much porn, but when I allow myself to be me in bed, it grosses me out. Oh,
Who's
Loretta.
this? Loretta. I bet you she's younger than me, too.
Loretta, 50 years old.
There you go. Loretta, when you're my age, you go back to thinking yourself as hot. Basically because you can't see as well.
Do you identify with that?
No, I completely not identify with that.
Oh, really? You
I'm
think
hotter now than I
as
was
fuck.
when I was a 20-year-old.
So,
you know why?
Why?
Because I'm much more confident now, and I know that darkness is my friend.
I want to ask you.
You didn't even respond
because I've heard that shit so many times.
It was a little joke. What I'm trying to say is, who the hell cares if you've got an extra few pounds on you, Loretta, or you're not as, your skin is not as flawless.
Perky, she said.
Or perky. Nobody cares. I can give you a list of 100 guys that have DM'd me, and you can go find guys that will.
I was saying, what turns me on is to see the other person desire me to feel, and for them to feel desired by me. It's a whole mind game. It doesn't matter as much about the actual body. The body, who cares?
Anyway, Loretta, I hope that you find your confidence and realize that you're beautiful just the way you are right now, and that most men would agree with me, or whoever you're attracted to would agree with me.
We got several more responses.
Did we get any celebrities?
I don't want
to hear about the mindful sex anymore.
I know. I'm filtering through all these mindful sex ones.
This is unbelievable.
And I haven't even read. Okay, this might be good because it ends
Calling
with,
all
don't tell my husband.
Freaks.
Okay. R says, I don't fantasize about anyone else during sex, but while masturbating, I only ever think of my ex. Haven't been with him in forever, but he was my first love and my first enjoyable sexual encounter, and it's hard to shake the habit. Thinking of that young love, the horniest years of my life, the anticipation that built through years of friendship and courtship makes for a great memory and fantasy. Don't tell my husband, though.
Why can't we tell your husband?
She doesn't want to tell the husband. Don't tell the husband.
You know what? I agree with you. When it comes to fantasizing, if you tell the other person, it's not such a great fantasy anymore.
Look, you didn't want to even share that your fantasy on the show.
Which is Bill Clinton?
No, you said that there's something else. You still fantasizing about Bill Clinton?
No, I was trying to think of what I was talking about. I already forgot what we were talking about.
We all know your fantasies anyway. You're in the fucking glory holes and the and
I just
the casting couch and all that shit.
Well, there were two questions. One is like, what type of fantasies other than being with your partner do you fantasize about? And the other is if there was a celebrity you fantasize about. So if you guys want to
What's with
weigh
you
in,
and the celebrity? Why do you think there's so many celebrities out there that people want to fuck?
I was just curious. They don't have to be even like movie stars or anything. They could be like weird people.
Weird people?
Like Pee Wee Herman or someone.
Okay, that is a movie star. And it happens to be a clown that I admire. Despite his fucking weird sexual history. All right. Let's go on.
That was our... Oh, we have more?
No. That was it.
That was our little lube it up presentation for you guys.
That was a presentation.
And if you want to join us the next time we have a question, all you have to do is text us at this number, which is
310-356-3920. That's our number.
Text us. We will
text us.
We promise not to spam you. We just want our sneaky freaks to weigh in.
Thank you, UberLube. UberLube is one of our favorite sponsors. Why is that?
Because it's our favorite lube.
That's right. It's a high-grade silicone lubricant made with simple, body-friendly ingredients. We're talking silicone and vitamin E.
And you can use it for oral, anal, and vaginal penetration.
It's a fun thing to bring into any sexual experience, whether you're alone or with a partner.
It just makes life easier.
So, sometimes when I'm hooking up with someone, they're my age, they don't tend to have dryness issues. And so they're surprised when I bring out the UberLube.
Everybody has dryness issues sometimes, especially if you're going for a long time.
My dick is dry as bone.
Okay.
I mean, other than the pre-cum that's shooting out like a fucking drippy faucet, I could use the UberLube regardless. Like, it's more fun. It allows you to feel a slip. It's got a perfect layer. It doesn't get all gunky. And it doesn't have any scent. It's just a perfect thing to add to any sexual encounter. Thousands of doctors recommend UberLube as their go-to solutions for patients experiencing dryness because of UberLube's simple ingredient list.
And also it doesn't smell or taste funky, which is really important to partners. Because wetter is better.
It can be used with condoms. It's not going to stain your clothing or bedding. It can be used in the water. It's the perfect lube. And right now, UberLube is offering Sex Talk with My Mom listeners a special offer. We're talking 10% off and free shipping when you use code MOM at uberlube.com. That's 10% off and free shipping. Just use code MOM, M-O-M, at uberlube.com. That link is in the episode's description. This episode of Sex Talk with My Mom is brought to you by BetterHelp.
I am so excited about this.
They're an amazing sponsor. Why is this? Because they offer online therapy. They will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. How important is therapy to us?
It's super important. The thing is that a lot of people have a hard time finding the right fit. And this provides an online way of doing it.
They have an online platform that makes it very easy to send a message to your counselor anytime, and you'll likely get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions.
I know there's people, little sneaky freaks out there that are having trouble finding their purpose. What's preventing you from achieving your goals? What interferes with your happiness? You could figure this out with this coach.
That's right. And they have licensed professional counselors who are specialized in all sorts of topics. We're talking depression, anger, stress, family conflicts. I have all these things. This is why I like BetterHelp.
BetterHelp. It's not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online.
It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. I want you to start living a happier life today. As a listener of this show, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting our sponsor at betterhelp.com/sextalk. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/sextalk. That link is in the episode's description.
So, Cam, what's been happening in your life?
My life. I went to Colorado this past weekend for a little joint bachelorette party.
And
you ever done this? The mutual bachelorette situation together?
I think that defeats the purpose. That's an engagement party.
You think it defeats the purpose? You're anti the joint bachelor? This is very popular these days.
I don't know why. What's the purpose of that versus having another wedding?
One of my other friends said, who wasn't even at this bachelorette party, was like, yeah, why wouldn't I I'm bringing all my friends together. Why wouldn't I want my partner to be with all my friends and to spend time in this, rapturous weekend?
Well, why is it called a bachelor party then? Why don't they just call it a pre-wedding party?
Who gives a fuck the name of it? It's just a party to celebrate the fact that they're about to get married. Because the bachelor party is so stupid. It originated as like, oh, this is the last night they're going to go fuck someone.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No one actually goes and fucks someone before the marriage.
Then don't have a bachelor party. Take that money.
How would you feel if your soon-to-be husband, weeks before the wedding, goes and fucks someone?
You don't go fuck someone.
Where do you go?
You just, do fun things that you would never do again with your, not even, I shouldn't say never do again.
Go to a strip club or something like this.
Do something a little wilder with your, same-sex friends.
Well, it got pretty wild. It was kind of, ironically, all the men felt very comfortable, like basically getting down to their underwear and dancing around. Some of them were wearing like G-strings and stuff like that.
Oh, so this is not all plain Jane kind of stuff.
No, it was a very fun experience. It was fun, except I got extremely sick.
Well, shock.
Why is that a shock?
Because every time you go away, you get sick.
Well, no, that's not true.
I don't know what you do. You know what it is? You don't relax beforehand, and then you get there and you just go ham.
No, that is not true. I happened to get high altitude sickness.
Did you get high?
No, I didn't get high. I was barely struggling to survive. I was very faint.
That is exactly the quote what you said to me. I said, "How was your trip?" And you said, "I was struggling to survive."
Yes.
Who says that? Every time you go away. Last time you cracked your head open and ended up in the emergency room.
Again, because I was at extremely high altitude. I'm not good with high altitude, it turns out.
All right, so maybe you should stay at sea level.
I would love to stay at sea level. I'm getting dragged out to all these places.
Why are people having these weird places?
I grew up in the plains in Chicago.
In the plains?
And
you sound like you have a covered wagon.
I need to stay in the flatlands. I can't go up in the mountain. I'm not going up or down anymore.
Since when?
I don't like
used
the
to
plains.
Love skiing.
I don't like any of that shit.
You used to go skiing every winter.
I'm over it. I'd like to stay flat. The beach is great.
And by the way, scuba diving, you don't do well with that either.
Can't go down. Can't go up. Flat. I want to be flat. Preferably lying flat.
Lying flat.
That's my preferred thing.
Oh.
Anyway, I call you up after the trip and I tell you I got very sick. I was faint. I was vomiting. I had a terrible headache.
Trying to survive.
I was trying to survive. And you go, why didn't you tell me?
Well, I was wondering, like, usually you would tell someone if you're not feeling well.
I said, what are you going to do? What are you going to do if I were to tell you? You're thousands
Send
miles
the paramedics?
away. No, you go, I would have worried for you.
I would have.
Like, that's something I needed you to do to help me out.
I would have felt bad that you're having a horrible time vomiting, and you said that the guy, your best friend, was hanging around and holding your head up, and it wasn't even from drinking.
He wasn't holding my head up. But a big shout out to Schmuels.
Your best friend is Schmuels?
Well, you called him my best friend. He is one of my best friends.
Okay.
He He saved my life that night.
Saved your life.
Well, I asked him how close I was to death, how many steps away.
You thought you were going to die.
I literally thought I was going to die.
Every time you go away, you think you're going to die.
My body was shaking. I was barely conscious. I was puking, and I had a splitting headache. These are all signs that your body's not in great shape right now.
Did you think you had COVID?
No, I thought I was going to die of altitude. I knew what was going on.
I don't like it either, actually. I think it's genetic because I was up in the Galapagos. I did not feel well.
This is what I'm talking about. You make fun of me for being such a sensitive, delicate flower. And then all this shit you've also experienced.
Yes, but you know why?
All day today, you're fucking complaining about the palpitations.
Yeah.
And then whenever I mention a palpitation, you're like, oh, what a hypochondriac. Oh, what did the cardiologist say?
Here's the difference. When I was in high altitude, they said don't drink wine, and I did anyway.
You're a dingus and a hypochondriac.
I'm a dingus hypochondriac.
A sensitive dingus hypochondriac.
Sensitive to altitude changes.
I don't know why we do this thing.
I don't know either. Well, at least you didn't drink wine.
I was not drinking anything. I
thought
was
maybe
barely sentient.
Did you do any mushrooms or anything like that?
No.
No Coke?
I was complete. What, no Coke? No, I didn't do Coke in the mouth. Could you imagine my heart if I put Coke on it? I would have been dead. I literally would have died. I was not in good shape. Anyway, I spent a little time in Boulder afterwards, and I had an experience.
What kind of experience?
I was with a friend.
Were you still like having this headache and all the rest of vomiting?
At this point, I had recovered. I needed a good 24 hours, and I'm fine. Turns out.
It's not worth it.
Wait, I just needed a little...
Put yourself through all that misery for just a...
Next time I need to start in Denver and spend a day there instead of going right into the mountains.
Oh.
I jumped up to 9,000 feet from zero. You can't do that.
I agree.
I need a day. Anyway, so I'm in Boulder. You've ever been in Boulder?
Yeah, I like Boulder.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it would be
it's
a
like
little
a hippie town.
Yeah, I thought it would be a little too hippie for you.
Well, I liked it when the pot wasn't legal because then we can get pot there.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a big hippie town. We're walking down the street, and of course, it's the lunar eclipse with the full moon and everything.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we're standing there, and there's a crowd forming on the corner, which is not like a crowd. And there's 10 people just sitting watching this moon. And there's this cute girl that comes up to us, and she goes, "Did I miss it?" No, you didn't miss it. I'm with my friend. He starts trying to flirt with her, and he's eating a thing of ice cream. Okay, like a little cone of ice cream.
Okay.
And he's almost down to the end of it. And he goes, "You want a lick of ice cream?"
Ooh, I like that.
To the girl. And she goes, no, thank you.
Wait, would you have given a lick of your ice cream cone to a stranger?
No, absolutely not.
Why?
Well, first, no, I'm not mixing. No, I want to. No.
You think you can get diseases?
No, yeah, there's no need to mix germs. Who is this person?
Well, why is he doing that then?
He doesn't give a fuck. He's a dirty fuck.
Anyway. Is a different best friend.
Yes. So anyway, he's trying to flirt with this girl. He goes, "You want to lick on my ice cream cone?" She goes, "No." Suddenly, this tweaker pops out of nowhere and goes, "I'll take a lick."
What?
This guy who's clearly on drugs pops out of nowhere. He literally says, "I'm on all sorts of stuff right now."
Oh my God, like a leprechaun or something.
Yes, like a leper. He kind of looked like one. Kind of looked like an alien. And my friend goes, "Oh, okay. Well, let me take one more bite and then I'll give you the rest." He takes one more bite. He goes to give the guy, and he realizes there's no ice cream left in the cone. He ate it all.
He ate it all?
You know how, because sometimes it doesn't go all the way in. So
yeah,
he
slurped it
ate
down.
all the shit. So we're sitting there. He's like
did he have a brain freeze?
That's not part of the story, Mom. He's giving the cone to this tweaker. The tweaker looks down at it, and there's this moment of awkwardness between everyone.
Because everybody knows that he just got reamed.
The ice cream, the fucking tweaker, the cute girl, me, everyone's feeling very uncomfortable. The tweaker starts tweaking. He's like, what's going on here? And my friend is clearly like feeling all befuddled. The girl starts feeling awkward and starts to leave. My friend runs after the girl, leaving me with the tweaker.
Oh, you started having anxiety again, I'm sure.
The tweaker starts telling me about how all the planets are covered in all this type of dust. That there's a whole Gaia and Thria and all sorts of shit. I have to listen to this for like 10 minutes while my friend tries to hit on this girl.
Did you participate in the conversation, or was it a monologue?
I'm watching the fucking moon, trying to experience the lunar eclipse. I'm hearing him hit on her.
Oh my God.
This guy tweaking. I didn't know how I got into such an overwhelming situation. I'm
I
just
don't
trying
either.
to enjoy the fucking lunar eclipse.
You couldn't say to the guy, "Okay, no more ice cream here. Move on to the next."
Yeah. Well, my friend came back, and he hears him going on and on about Gaia and Thria and the world and all this sorts of shit. He goes, where can I learn more about that? And the guy is
Were you ready to kill him?
The guy's like, oh, well, there's on some websites. And he goes, oh, okay, well, I'll go check it out. Let's go, Kim.
Oh, he saved your ass.
Extricated from the conversation. Swiftly ended. Pretty interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes.
That is fascinating, Kim.
Thank you.
You and the tweaker.
Anyway, what's going on with you?
I have nothing that exciting, I'll tell you that much. I was supposed to go out of town as well.
Where were you supposed to go?
Why are you laughing?
Because the way that you had a lot of difficulty being part of that story just now.
What are you talking about? Difficulty being part of the story?
A lot of difficulty. You wanted to interject, and then you were like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't interject." And
if I don't interject, you go, "You're not participating in the conversation."
So it's not a good
can't
balance. There's a disconnect when I try to tell a story and you try to listen.
You know what happens?
What?
My eye is tweaking because you said that.
I wonder how much of the story you actually heard.
I can repeat the whole story.
It's because I told you the story before.
Right. Don't tell me the stories in advance.
Well, I said I'm not going to tell you the story, and you pushed me to tell you the story.
All right. Are we still taping right now?
You can't even feign presence.
I'm trying to feign presence, but you're taking me out of the present because I was trying to go to the next part.
You were supposed to go out of town.
I was supposed to go out of town if you didn't give a shit.
I gave a shit.
Well, I couldn't go out of town because your sister got COVID.
Yes. And you were with her, and you potentially could have been infected.
Right. So I couldn't go to Seattle, which I was supposed to do. So instead, I just kind of hung around, listened to podcasts. And
You hung around and listened to podcasts?
That's what I did. I'm pathetic.
What?
I listened to some podcasts. What's so funny?
I'm doing research. Can't imagine.
I'm doing research for our show.
You don't go out of town. Instead, you sit home and just binge thousands of podcast hours.
All right, I listened to one podcast, and then I went rummaging around with Monique Marvez all day and all night.
Okay. So what was this podcast that you listened to?
It's called Call Her Daddy.
Okay, we know Call Her Daddy.
I know we know. And I figured I'm just going to check out because she has a similar vibe to us in the sense of just completely telling it how it is.
Okay.
Not being afraid to share.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, I already dislike this person because, I'm thinking she's representing everything you're not supposed to be representing. She's very uncougarous to me, at least when I used to listen to her when she was with the other partner, Alex. Or is her name Alex?
Her name is Alex. The other one is Sophia.
Yeah, when she was with Sophia, it was like I was not liking what I was hearing.
You thought that she was not being a real confident, older, unique, genuine, assertive, and racy woman.
Exactly.
Okay.
However, my thoughts have changed.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I started listening. It's an episode called My Plastic Surgery Story.
Okay. Is this Mom's News?
It could be.
Okay, go on.
I'm just listening to her talk about her, her feelings of insecurity about her body, which I'm thinking, if I only look like that half of, a millisecond, I'd be happy.
Oh.
I mean, this woman is like, what all the people look up to. And then she did this whole thing about how she wasn't going to filter stuff. So she wanted to show her real person and blah, 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 blah. But it's called My Plastic Surgery Story. So I'm thinking to myself, she said she was out for six weeks or 6 months or a long time. So I'm thinking to myself, she had plastic surgery, right?
Right.
She starts talking about how she used to have a banana roll. And that is an extra roll, like a little roll underneath your butt. I went and looked it up. It's called a banana roll.
Is it something you put on there?
No, it's like something that's genetic. Like you have like an extra little roll of flab on the bottom of your butt. It's no big deal because everybody's got some imperfections. And this to her made her very insecure. And I guess some people used to make fun of her about it.
Huh.
So she went to a plastic surgeon, and I thought to myself, she must have gotten it removed. That's why she didn't. Is that what you thought too?
Sure. I haven't listened to this thing.
Well, it turns out she decided to say, fuck it all. This is my banana roll, and I'm basically owning it. And I was very, very proud of the way she flipped that around.
Look at that. That's a cougar move right there.
Yeah.
That's
so
nice.
My apologies.
So she went to the plastic surgeon. She chose not to get the surgery or whatever?
I think that was like a little tease because I don't think that happened at that point. I think she had gone to a plastic surgeon in the past. I just assumed that the end result, I was getting all angry. I was like assuming that the end result was that she was going to get plastic surgery to make herself perfect like the Kardashians or whatever idealized person is perfect.
Yeah.
She didn't.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah. So I was just very impressed that I didn't have to be disgusted by this whole situation.
I'm impressed and so grateful.
That's what's going on in Mom's News. No, that's what's going on in my life. I put out a video on my TikTok just within like 15 minutes. I made a video, and it was about, what are you laughing about?
Go on.
The difference between a cougar and a sugar mama.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
Keep going.
I'm thinking to myself, it's common sense, right? Well, the difference?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I didn't realize that I was in my bathing suit at the time, by the way, when I decided to make this video.
Yeah.
I did not realize that if you look at the picture in a certain angle, that it looks like I have like a bulge in my
underwear
pussy area. Worse than a camel toe. It looks like a bulge, okay? And then I thought to myself, I don't give a shit. I'm just putting it out there anyway because fuck everybody.
So you noticed before you put it out that you had
noticed there's a little bulge there, but I didn't think anything of it.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You got some comments?
I don't know if we should call this hit on or shit on, but we got some comments.
Yeah, this is hit on or shit on.
Really?
The segment of the show where we get to look through your comments to determine if they're a hit on or a shit on.
Most of them were very, very complimentary.
Okay, and like what?
Well, the whole discussion about would you rather be a sugar mama or would you rather be a cougar? One guy said, hear me out, you can have, and this is all in bold. Hear me out. You can have me for unlimited use of your credit cards and cash.
So this guy wants you to pay him.
Sugar mama. Right?
I guess so.
Shit on, right?
Wait, what is your definition between sugar? What's the difference between sugar mama and cougar?
Basically, the cougar is a confident, older, unique, genuine, assertive, and racy woman, which you all know is my term. So that's neither here nor there in terms of like attractiveness. But the sugar mama is the expectation is that you know a younger guy is going to perform certain obligations in order to get the sugar mama's money.
Okay.
It's more transactional, I guess.
Yeah.
You know.
Can a sugar mama be a cougar?
Not really, because a confident person wouldn't be paying to have
some people. Yeah, maybe they're confidently paying. They're like, yeah, fuck, I like this type of transaction. Let's fucking do this thing. I'm gonna pay you. You're gonna go down on me or whatever. Sounds like a confident thing.
I don't think it sounds confident.
Sometimes it depends on the approach.
I mean, I would say 9 times out of 10 that would be a no.
They're kind of like, I'm lonely. Can you just do this for me?
Or not even sexually, just like sugar mama can be taking you out to dinner and, you know, paying for your expenses. I don't believe in any of that.
Okay.
Now I put one out. What's the difference between cougar and MILF? And that's another whole story.
Oh my God. The
whole
channel is out of control.
I just can't. I'm going back to what the picture showed, what the video showed. These are different things that people have said. This guy Lee says, that's a fat cat. Laughing. Another one said, you look like my neighbor. I'm not sure what that means. And then this other guy, Doug, says, so no one is going to say something, question mark, faces. And then another one said, she's packing. I'm packing. So I responded, that's a sock.
You missed one from Blackbird Bandit who says, put some clothes on, Nana.
Oh, I love when I hear that shit.
Oh, my God.
How about this one? Somebody go dust that off one time. What does that mean? That sounds like a shit on to me, isn't it?
I don't know what that even means. Go dust that off one time. I don't know. It sounds maybe an older reference or
dust one off.
Yeah.
That maybe does that mean like get rid of the cobwebs? I don't know what that means.
Okay, these are all so far all shit-ons.
And then this one says, Tony says, "Which one are you, beautiful?" That's a hit on.
That's a hit on. We got a hit on.
And then another one said, "Your mom is a vibe. I love her."
Oh. Also a hit on.
Also a hit on.
So, you know, overall, were you lifted up by the comments of this video or no?
500,000. I don't care what the comments were.
Oh. Well, that is hit on or shit on.
That's right. That's hit on or shit on the favorite part of the day.
Here's why I was laughing earlier.
What?
So, you know this.
I feel like this is going to be a shit on to me.
It's not a shit on.
I can tell.
It's not a shit on. But okay, so the day that this video is blowing up,
yes,
happened to be the anniversary of my late father's death.
16 years, and it was 2016. So as your brother said, it's considered the golden anniversary of the death.
The golden anniversary, and you text everyone saying, "I swear this is your father's doing. I got 500,000 on this video."
I think he did.
Yeah, Mom. You think Dad is the spirit of Dad is like, oh, we're gonna have this cougar/sugar mama TikTok blow up over here?
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
Because he was always very supportive of anything I did, and was very happy if I was happy with whatever I was trying to work on or achieve. So he would be very happy for me, just like my current boyfriend is happy whenever I do, even if it's something that's makes them feel uncomfortable or whatever. It's still sweet.
This is very sweet. I love this. you really do believe, you don't have any doubts that like, oh, maybe this is a little far-fetched, that he's controlling the TikTok right now? And
he's controlling TikTok, yes.
All right. Listen.
There's a lot of things that happened since he died in the 16 years that are inexplicable.
They're freaky ass shit. I will stand by that.
Shit.
There's some freaky shit
that has happened.
But when you start thinking everything is freaky shit.
You know what my boyfriend said? That he got a free ice cream because he went out during the... Explain what the celebration is, how we do this.
This is part of Cam's Uppers. Should we jump into Cam's Uppers?
Just right into the Cam's Uppers then.
Ladies and gentlemen, grab your cocks, hold on to your vulvas. It's the best part of the show. It's Cam's Uppers.
Cam's Uppers is the place for me. Fun living is the life I see.
Cam's Uppers, this is a segment of the show where I share something near and dear to my heart, something that my mother typically finds
extremely boring
or
dull
or
sometimes fascinating.
It's Cam's Uppers.
Cam's
I
Uppers.
heard it. Fascinating. Yeah, this week I was thinking a lot about grief and the way people process.
That doesn't sound fascinating at all. That sounds very, very depressing.
It sounds like an upper to me, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking how important it is that we have this ritual. I thought we'd share it with our sneaky freaks.
And you want to describe the ritual?
So basically, every year on the anniversary of my father's death, we do we say some Jewish prayers, light a candle. We're not so religious. We do like a couple of things here and there throughout the year. This is one of those things. It's nice to have a little ritual. Anyway, it's the nuclear family. It's me, my mother, my sister, my brother. We all sit around and we talk about all the things that we miss about our father, the things that we want to emulate, the stories that we remember, that we laugh about. And one of our favorite things, we read some of the writing that he so eloquently and hilariously gifted us when he was alive.
Which I think you gained a lot of his sense of humor.
You think so?
Yeah, and the rest of the family as well, but you especially.
Actually, so this year we watched a video where he shot a few weeks before his death, called The Potter Rules.
He shot it less than a few weeks, like a 1 week.
He was basically giving a tour of our house and saying these are the rules of the house, because my sister's a cappella group was coming to stay with us, and he was like,
"It's a college group.
This is the shit. This is basically all the shit you couldn't touch in the house, which was pretty much his scotch,
his alcohol.
You
could touch anything else, but just don't touch his alcohol." And he had a ton of alcohol.
Yeah, and I realized I was in the video for like 10 seconds or something like that. And it was crazy that at 17, I moved the exact same way that I currently move. Even the way I pick up a pencil.
You got the same hairstyle.
And I do. I went back to the same hairstyle. And it is crazy that I picked up it's so clear that those mannerisms were picked up from him.
Right.
It's freaky to see that at such a young age, it's left a very big imprint that I still carry. Very exceptional. Anyway, with regard to the writings, they were hilarious writings that we got to experience that were usually sent to us at camp. We went to overnight camp, so he would write us these emails, send us these emails, and he treated us as if we were like people his age.
Right,
and
in their 40s.
He'd swear in these emails. My brother was fucking 7 or 8 getting these letters, and he's making up stories about how he's having an affair with one of my brother's friends' moms, and he's making up all these storylines for everyone in our lives. It is out of control.
So funny. We should publish them at one point.
He would write these. You would force him to write these scuba dive logs.
What do you mean I forced him? I didn't force him. He wanted to.
Well, he didn't like scuba diving.
But I forced him to scuba.
You forced him to scuba dive.
He decided he wanted to scuba dive.
And so after you scuba dive, you're supposed to write in a logbook like all the weights that you use, the air that you use, the depth you went to, so that for future dives you improve your diving. And then in this situation, he did not choose to do that, but rather he would document all of the shit that annoyed him during the dive.
Especially with the dive masters.
The dive masters irritating him, asking him to go puke somewhere else on the boat.
Yeah.
Losing fins, not being able to breathe, getting nauseous, all sorts of shit.
People kicking him in the face while they're swimming. Yeah.
It's very nice. Hilarious writing. But I bring all this up to say, I realized recently that grief is actually kind of a hard, after years of it, it's a hard emotion or state of mind to get into.
Right. Well, I mean, like, why would you want to?
Because it's a healthy process
I know,
to remember
but
someone, to feel the pain.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, is that you don't really want to get into the grief state, but you should get into it so that you can access that part of you.
Yeah, and I think it's wonderful to be, I'm extremely grateful to have a ritual and a ceremony that helps you access, at least if you're having difficulty, access it and to remember these things and to, celebrate his life.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing.
Well, I was thinking about when I walked in today before we were getting ready to tape, I was thinking about like that we were married for 24 years and what actually made us work for 24 years, because it wasn't always smooth sailing. It was up and down, and especially at the beginning, it was a little rocky. And I started talking to our famous videographer Joseph, famous videographer Joseph, and he said that his parents have been married how many years? 36 years. Come on over here, Joseph. I got to ask you a quick question.
What?
I'm going to go on this one.
Okay, yeah, get on over here.
Hello there.
Hello there, Joseph.
This is I. I am the camera guy, Joseph. Hello.
Hello. So I had a question for you, because you said that your parents have been married 36 years.
36 years.
And what do you think is the secret to their marriage?
I think you know the secret very well, but I say my parents, they learned very quickly. The first half of their relationship, they tried to be involved, very heavily involved in each other's lives. And then they decided... Hold on.
When you say involved in each other's lives, what does that mean?
Meaning that they try to control everything that they do, like
the other person does.
Yeah, the other person always trying to control everything that they do. And then they learned very quickly that it does not work. So now they just let them do whatever they want, and then they come back and meet in the middle and make sure they home when they go to sleep, stuff like that.
And what are your thoughts about that?
I think that's brilliant. That's a brilliant idea. Well, I have a built-in partner. I have a twin brother. So, living with him and being a womb mate since the beginning of time, I know how to live with a person. And there's built some friction if you're just with a person constantly for 24 hours a day.
Yeah, really. So the first response is to try to control the other person. But then if you think about it, that's not going to work.
No.
I have found that in my current relationship as well. But at the beginning, you're trying to make everything perfect, but no relationship is going to be always on the same plane.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Back to you.
Thank you for helping us with that, because I always ask people I hear that are married a long time, what makes it work?
Well, I remember vividly Dad giving me advice around this. Actually,
what do you say? Just give in to your mother at all times?
Yes, he literally said, Cam, if I have one word of advice to you, it's to just say yes. Just say yes. If she asks you something, just say yes. Because if you don't say yes, it's just going to be a constant nag. You better just cut it off to begin with and just say yes.
Do you think that's all partners or just me?
That remains to be seen. I don't know how much I agree with that, but I do remember that being a very specific lesson that he tried to impart upon me.
And I think that's basically what Joseph was just trying to say about his parents.
Kind of just let them do what they want to do.
Just say yes. Because I found myself with my boyfriend, if I get aggravated at D's.
The way that he's choosing to live.
The way he's choosing to live, and how he's saying, I'm not eating sugar until my birthday in 3 months, and then the next day going to get ice cream. I sense that there's a little discrepancy there.
Yes.
And I want to say something, but if I say something, that's going to be considered controlling, so I don't say anything.
Yeah. Just to get back to this little grief ceremony that we had, this communal grieving, my sister reminded me of a memory that I don't even have, which was that apparently when we were in the hospital after, do people know how he died?
Well, I think we should tell them.
My dad was the victim of a workplace homicide. He was murdered at work. Horrible experience. Basically,
an employee came in one morning and just decided to stab him to death.
I'm sorry if this is the first time you're hearing this. It's a heavy information, but that's kind of what flipped our worlds upside down. And anyway, when we were in the hospital he was brought to a hospital, and obviously at that point he was already dead. But we all gathered in the hospital. And apparently I brought my siblings together and I said, whatever we do, we're not turning to drugs.
I love it. I never heard that either.
How neurotic am I?
By the way.
That even in that moment,
exactly.
I'm like, oh God, here we go. Are we going to be one of these families that end up fucking having a horrible tragedy? Next thing you know, we're shooting up heroin and all sorts of shit.
But it's interesting because it happens so quickly that your mind just immediately goes to well, we got to make sure this doesn't happen.
Right. And you did the same sort of thing when we got home.
Yeah. I pulled everybody upstairs into my bed and I'm like, listen, guys, we are a strong family. This is not going to break us up, and we're going to get even stronger.
You made us hold hands.
We held hands. I mean,
it was a very serious mama bear moment.
I just think that you go into this like almost like remote control. That's why you decided to bring up the whole drug issue.
I mean, you start thinking, okay, how is this going to affect my life? Well, I could start going down a real dark hole. And no one wants to go down a dark hole. Luckily, we have each other to kind of make sure that didn't happen.
And you did a really good job of leading us in this ceremony, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You, of course, came to, some real thoughtful insights that we should talk about. Oh, you always talk about, like, tell us one thing that you're grateful for, things like that, which take a lot of thought process and very different than my thought process, which is like, let's talk about things that made us laugh.
Yeah. I like that we remember all the different parts of him.
Yes.
It was interesting, though, that ceremony felt more lighthearted for me than usual.
Oh, my God. I thought it was more downhearted.
Oh, really?
Is that the opposite of lighthearted?
I guess it was heavy.
It was a heavy thing, and I think that, it seemed like each person, your sister was still recovering from COVID. Your brother seemed like he was finding some insight into his own grief.
For me, though, I think I was kind of in go mode because I was traveling, and I couldn't really settle down enough to really feel the pain.
Well, you had just literally come off an airplane.
Yeah, the next day, it kind of hit me while I was just sitting at home working. It's very interesting. Music can kind of prompt this, and little messages.
Yeah, well, yeah,
from friends. It's interesting that the mind has to kind of settle in order to experience that wave of grief.
I mean, what are your thoughts about putting messages about your dad on the anniversary of his birth, his birthday or his death day on social media?
Oh, I was thinking about that because my siblings did that. It's not for me. No judgment to them for doing this, but for me, social media feels like such a superficial and lighthearted play. Not lighthearted necessarily, but like kind of like
personal,
shallow place that it's not meant for me to express such personal details. I feel way more comfortable in a podcast form, actually.
Me too.
Where you can kind of express all your feelings at length.
Well, I'm beginning to. I never go on Facebook anymore. Mm-hmm. And I think I feel the same way. I don't need to have people I haven't talked to in like 15 years saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Exactly.
I don't want to have public coming into my private thoughts.
Exactly. Or people that didn't even know him messaging me and be like, "Oh, so sorry for your loss," or something. Come on.
I just feel like it's the people that I want to speak to, I will call up. And if not, then I don't need to.
Although my siblings did get some really nice messages from friends who brought back memories of my father. Right.
That was nice. So we'll let your siblings do it, and you and I can.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ride the coattails without getting too deep in the trenches.
I'm surprised by that for you because you are so present on social media.
Not anymore. I only with the
TikTok is very social media.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that.
Oh boy.
I'm only talking about cougars and MILFs and sugar mamas.
Oh my God. All right. Well, I think we've come towards the end of our show, Mother.
We certainly have, and I'm sorry we didn't do Mom's News, but we'll save it for next week.
Well, we kind of did Mom's News.
The one that I had planned,
about the plastic surgery with the.
Yeah, I'm saving Mom's News for the next.
Okay. Well, we have something to look forward to next time.
Oh, yes. Don't we ever?
Yes.
Our videographer is
snickering over here.
He's snickering. I hear snickering over here, Joseph.
Okay. I want to thank our patron members.
Woohoo!
Especially the Big Papa Bob B for making this show possible.
It really helped us, Bob B.
Is that generous patron donation that allows us to film in this awesome studio with Joseph. And another thank you to Deirdre. Deirdre upped that pledge.
Oh, thank you, Deirdre.
Doubled the pledge. Big Mama Deirdre. How about that?
Big Mama Deirdre. I really appreciate it. I appreciate anybody that can donate anything because it makes us have some value for the work that we put in. And it's besides, of course, your participation in all the activities that we've been talking about throughout this podcast.
And it helps us record in a studio because otherwise it's coming out of our pockets.
And it helps us be able to put that video on TikTok, of course, and YouTube.
That's right.
And Instagram.
That's right.
And Twitter.
That's right. If you want to join us for a monthly Zoom call, or if you want access to our patron-only Discord channels where you get to connect with other sneaky freaks join us at patreon.com/sextalkwithmymom.
Definitely. You guys will love it.
If you want to help us out in another way, please leave us a rating and review. And if you need help doing that, go to ratethispodcast.com/mom. If you listen to this on Spotify, leave us a rating there. We've gotten some wonderful reviews. We have this one from Jack3130. You want to read this one?
I'll read it. It says, 5 stars, awesome podcast. Just started listening to the podcast. I love it. Very funny and very informative. I love when people put those in capitals. I'm the father of 2 boys, and I'm so excited to have these conversations with them someday. Oh. Thanks for the advice.
It's wonderful. It's a very fitting one for this conversation.
Yeah, this father conversation.
Yeah.
And call her daddy.
Thank you very much for that review, Jack3130. I'm glad that this can inspire some conversations among your family. This is a reminder. If your family's alive, give them a nice hug. Have those uncomfortable conversations. This is the whole show is all about.
It certainly is. And a lot of people have written in about that over the years, and keep writing us and letting us know your thoughts on this podcast.
Thank you all for listening.
You know what I'm thinking it's time for?
Sing them.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and having sex with celebrities.
Oh, now that's a message. That's a sign from Dad.
I rhymed.
That's good.
See, I tell you.
Very good. Love you.
We love you guys.
Bye.
You were listening to a Pleasure Podcast. For more from our Sex Podcast Collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.